How do you feel about the coming year? You think
2021?
everybody's thinking that as soon as the clock strikes 2021, things are magically going to become better. Everybody said, oh, 2020 was the worst year in history. Can't wait for 2021. I don't think it works that way. But
no, I think people are making, humans are being hopeful. And they feel that what they have now is worse than what they had before. So their first reaction is to, can we go back to normal? Normal. And so they want to go back to what they know. But like I said, it's a great opportunity to create sustainable, meaningful change.
And to create a new normal.
But you cannot change a system and a global system and the mind of people within 1 year. When people have been educated for generation and generation on perceiving the world in one way, and you are trying to reinvent a new model, it cannot happen in 1 year. It's a process that will take time, probably 10, 15 years, and maybe 20. And so this is just the very beginning of the thing. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. And 2021, if I have to make a prediction, will definitely be more difficult, a lot more difficult than 2020. And this is the necessity. It's just, you can only stand up once you've fallen. So the world has not yet fallen on itself, but the system needs to collapse on itself.
You need to get to rock bottom before you can make a change.
Exactly, before it can be reborn into a new model. Because once he has crumbled, and every story we have told ourselves always has been shattered as being irrelevant, then what new stories can I create?
Yes.
And then the opportunity to rebuild something new will arise.
And I think that's an important note for us, because as human beings, as people, we need to, now we've had a year to get used to the way that things have been because of this pandemic and being, almost confined to our places and all of these things. It gives us a very good opportunity to help to build the world that we always dreamed that we want to build. We've always wanted to have a better world. Everybody wants to have a better world. But we've been stuck in the world that has been the way it's been for 50 years, at least. The postmodern world since World War II has been pretty much the same, just industrialization, technology getting more and more advanced, and our humanness being a little bit less and less taken out of us. We've become a little bit more like automatons. Because we haven't had to think as much, we haven't had to reflect as much, because we've been just lending that out to machines that we work on every day, to TV that does the thinking for us when it tells us stories and things like that, to the news. But now that we've had a chance to do this reflection and the time to think about what is truly important, we can focus on those and start a new era of living the way that we think, that we really know deep inside that will make us happy. Connecting with each other and living smaller. Maybe living with less money, living with maybe not having your yacht and all those boats that you have. Having a quiet life that is with the people around you and focusing on the things that give you joy and happiness. There are people that are very poor in India and Africa that I've seen that are a lot happier than some rich people that I know.
For sure.
And really, you look at the rich people and they have lives where they travel all over the world, this and that. And then there's these poor people that haven't gone anywhere, but they're laughing and happy every day. And you think about it, why is all the money and the traveling and stuff more fulfilling than having this quiet life? Because really, they have songs about this and stories. More money, more problems, right?
May I share a very touching story? One of the pillar of stories in my life-changing perception. Mm-hmm. I was in Cameroon, in Douala, the capital, and I had a dinghy and I was stuck in the
Dinghy, one of the small boats?
no dinghy, the disease.
Okay. Dengue fever.
Dengue fever.
Okay.
And I was in bed for 3 days, and that was my first one. I never had any others, and I really felt very bad. But after 3 days, I was in a Novotel hotel. I was better, so I go outside, and then I walked down the street about 100 meters from the hotel, and there was a shop, and I remember I wanted to buy something, and as I go into the shop, the door opened. And I knew that there was no electrical system to open that door. So I didn't understand what happened, why the door was open. So obviously I looked down to see what had opened the door. And then what I saw right there was, I don't know if you say that in English, kajat, so people with no leg.
Okay.
There was a man with absolutely no leg. There was a little step and then the door, and he was sitting on the below step, and he had no leg. He had the left arm gone as well. So he only had his right arm. That's the only part of the body with the head who could move. And when I looked down to him, so basically what he had done is he had opened the door. And when he looked at me, he was from down and I was up. He had a striking, bright, deep, meaningful sense of purpose and joy that basically struck me through the eye. And at that very moment, I became aware that if a man that has so little, because that man had less than anyone I know, could emit so much joy, then really it was not about having that will make us more happy. But he was able to perceive that the only thing he can do in life is open the door. And to be given the opportunity to open the door to a white man in an African country is maybe an opportunity to get a bigger coin or a bigger bill or whatever that is. So just that moment where that opportunity is given, he's going to give his very, very best, and that's exactly what he did. And he valued that moment for being an opportunity even though he had nothing. And I was transcended by that moment, and I can remember it now, and this is 18 years later. So, that goes exactly with what you were saying.
Yeah, I think that you can really give importance or meaning to anything, and we usually have been almost programmed to give it to the wrong things. Things that are important to human beings, like sense of community and connection with other human beings, have become less important to us, and we've given them that meaning on our own. Because the things that have become important, those shining objects, is what we are told by other people, by everything we see and hear, by advertising, that's the thing that we should be focusing on. And I think that now we're starting to wake up and realize that those shiny objects are, I like to almost think of them now as challenges and ways for me to realize that they are temptations. The more money, the bigger car, the bigger house, those are temptations that test you to see how strong your resolve and connectedness with your family and the important things really is. It's a slightly different way of looking at things, instead of thinking that no, that shiny thing is shiny, I better go get it just because it's shiny. That's almost it is a programming. So we are becoming, I think the programming has become much less effective in this last year for myself, just because I've tried to stay away. Of course, you listen to the news and this and that, be aware of what's going on, but I like to listen to not just the narrative that comes out of one area.
Sure.
I want to hear different types of narratives. Some that even challenge me, that make me think that can't be it. Really? Okay. Well, I don't know. Let me just take an assortment of points of views and think about it for myself. But at least I'm giving myself the chance to think about the different types of views that are out there, the different things that are out there. But I think that we've had a real opportunity in the last year to do a lot of thinking, to do a lot of soul searching. And this, personally for myself and some of the people that I've talked to that have had the same kind of opportunity and felt that it's it is an opportunity, it's been this last year, to reassess what life is all about. And I think that it's something that we've needed for a long time. This pandemic has almost become like a blessing in disguise.
It is a blessing in disguise.
You know?
For sure. You know, to go and to make it very simple on just what you mentioned is very simple, is that first we have to admit something which may be difficult, is that nothing is truly real. Everything is relative.
Yes.
So if we accept that rule as a reality, then we realize that we can choose between two paths. Is one, to believe in the story we are told, or to choose to create the story that we want to believe in. And so that simplifies the equation and the questioning, is that do I want to believe in a narrative of what has been told to me, or do I want to create a narrative which is mine? You know, and when I was telling you about that person, that handicap, he could have followed the narrative that people, oh, you're a cripple, you have nothing, and you should feel like shit, and you are not productive, and you cannot do nothing, feel very bad about himself, you know? And no, he choose. I only can do that. I can see this as a bright light, and this is what I choose to be. And you know, when you think about greatest scientists, the theory of everything, from English scientist, I'm gonna hold.
The guy in the wheelchair.
That's right. We all know about it. We all know his stories. It's gonna come back to me in a second. So he knew what was to be a living being and have feet and walk and enjoy and sing or whatever. And then suddenly the disease made it that he couldn't move nothing, not even his hands and nothing. But the only thing that could work was his mind. And then he saw that as an opportunity to make his mind the greatest of all, and he did. So you know, that is, what story do you want to tell yourself? What is the story that you want to believe in? And it's all about a story. I'm not saying your story is right, is wrong. It is the story that you choose. So how you react to an input is the story that you want to tell yourself.
And I think you're very right. I think that the main thing is choice. You have to make a choice what you want to believe in, what makes you happy, and if you choose to believe the things that make you happy, you'll be better off instead of choosing to believe what other people tell you to believe.
Exactly.
So I think that choice is something that we've always had, but we have given away our power to choose by just relying on outside sources. And it's a good reminder in this last year that we do have a choice on what we want to believe, on how we want to live, on how we want to behave, and what kind of world we want to be in. It's all a question of choice, isn't it?
It is true, very true, but I think this is also something that is engraved into us, and we do it to our children, is that, you know, from a very young age, we are, by nature, protective of our children. So we are controlling them and trying to protect them by overprotecting them and not allowing them to make the mistake they need to make in order to learn by themselves, in order to ask the question they want. No, don't ask this question, you're too young, you know. And so basically, by limiting our children's capacities to make their choice, they learn that, what should I do, Dad? What should I do, Mom? So, oh, Dad says, so I do. So it's the system that has been built around, don't make your own decision. You know, if the father or the priest tells you you should do that, you should listen. I told you you need to go to law school. That's a safe solution. No, Papa, I want to be a singer. I don't care.
You don't choose, I tell you.
Exactly.
And this is why we have to take back our power to choose. But I think that that's a great spot to end this podcast. I think that there's so many more things that we could talk about, and we'll definitely have to do it again.
Okay.
But this is a great beginning, and I really thank you for your time. We've gotten some great takeaways. This has been a challenging year for everybody, but it hasn't all been bad. I mean, it has reminded us of what is important in life, and it really all comes down to choice. And we have to make the choices that are going to benefit us, make us happy, and treat each other better. It's our power to choose to do those things. So if we don't give away our choice to other people, then we have the power to make a new world. But if we give it away, then other people will make the world that we are going to have to live in.
In my conclusion statement, I would like to say that this opportunity of the COVID gave us the opportunity to realize what is really essential is that we human are not in control. We human are not important. We human should be focusing more on making sure that our environment is sustainable, that we are connected to this external magical earth that is given to us. And that is the lesson, which is not yet enforced, but because of COVID and the reduction in transportation, air transportations, and even other means of transportation worldwide, we've been able to emit a lot less CO2. And then, we have consumed less fish. And then we have basically destroyed the environment a lot less.
COVID has been great for the environment.
And so this needs to continue because, 100 years of damage is not going to be recovered in 1 year.
Yes.
The nature will always recover, especially the day we are gone. It will take over, that's for sure. But humans have to rediscover that, we are not alone. We are not special. We're just like nothing on the whole universe. And there are, I think next year, and we'll talk about that next time, I hope, that's my prediction. There's going to become awareness of extraterrestrial life who's been on Earth for already hundreds of years. And then we are going to start to be connected to those extraterrestrial lives. And those extraterrestrial lives are going to brought us to light because they are so much more advanced than we are, that they're going to be able to enlighten the human being on what is the proper path to a better life, because they have experienced all those stages in their lifehood, so they have made a mistake, and they know how to educate us so that a real change can occur. Let's discuss it next time if you